wife insisted on naming our baby after her first love, so I made sure she'd never forget what she lost. My wife always said she wanted 3 kids, but apparently she'd already started counting her dead boyfriend as the first one. The nightmare started when we found out we were having a boy. My wife immediately said Cosmo with this dreamy look, like she'd been waiting years to say it out loud. When I asked who Cosmo was, she casually mentioned her high school boyfriend who died in a motorcycle crash 10 years ago. I always promised I'd name my first son after him, she said, rubbing her belly. When I suggested normal baby names, she accused me of erasing her trauma and started visiting her dead ex's grave every week with ultrasound photos. When her mother gently said the obsession seemed unhealthy, my wife cut her off completely and told everyone her mom never understood true love. When our marriage counselor suggested individual therapy, my wife stormed out mid-session and posted on Facebook that I was forcing her into treatment because I'm threatened by real love. When I tried to pick a different name, she threatened to leave me and take the baby, saying any judge would side with a grieving widow over a controlling husband. The worst part was her promising that I'd never meet this baby if I left or divorced her. She even commissioned a $3,000 nursery mural of angels that looked exactly like her dead boyfriend, hung his senior portrait over the crib, and played his favorite songs on repeat during her pregnancy yoga. The night everything changed started when her sister Nicole came over to help with baby shower planning. We were sitting in the nursery when Nicole noticed the angels in the mural and said gently that the obsession with naming the baby after a dead boyfriend wasn't healthy for anyone. My wife's face went from calm to murderous within seconds. "You never understood real love," she screamed it so loud that Nicole flinched backwards. "I'm just worried about you," Nicole pleaded, but my wife was already grabbing her by the hair. She slammed Nicole's face into the wooden changing table so hard that her nose exploded in a spray of blood. When Nicole collapsed to the floor, her hands came away from her face covered in red. "Maybe now you'll understand my loss," that's all my wife said, and disappeared into her room. I helped Nicole to my car and drove her to the emergency room in complete silence while she held towels to her broken nose. At the hospital, her nose required surgery, and the doctor documented everything for the police report. When they almost assumed that I was the one who did this to her, that's when I decided that trying to save my marriage was pointless. Not when my wife could also be a danger to our son. I'd been secretly recording my wife's rants about her first love for months on my phone, and I showed Nicole video after video of the obsession. Nicole kept wincing from the pain while watching her sister scream about honoring true love, and I told her she'll go into labor soon, and that's when I'll take everything from her. She nodded, and I got to work. By the time my wife went into labor, my hands were steady with purpose as I played the supportive husband perfectly. After delivery, I told her I'd finally understood her love and agreed to name our son Cosmo. I even showed her the birth certificate with her first love's name and watched her eyes fill with happy tears. She immediately posted on social media about her victory and how she'd won the battle to honor true love. She tagged everyone who'd opposed the name, including her injured sister and our marriage counselor. She wrote long posts about how real love transcends death and how our son would carry on Cosmo's legacy. And 2 days later, the moment she stepped foot back into our house, she was served with divorce papers and emergency custody filing. Her social media posts were printed and attached as evidence of mental instability and obsession. The assault charges from Nicole, the months of recorded rants, and her public declarations about a dead teenager created an ironclad case. My wife laughed when she first saw the papers, telling her lawyer this was just another manipulation tactic, but that meant she was wholly unprepared when we went to court. As the judge read each post aloud, her smirk faded. "I was emotional after birth," she screamed. "Every mother posts things." When he announced full custody to me and the name changed to William, she lunged across the courtroom, screaming, "You tricked me!" Security had to restrain her as she kept wailing about her first love, proving the judge's point. She lost everything the moment she chose violence and posted the evidence online herself. She gets supervised visits twice a month at the courthouse where she has to call our son William. She can't even delete the social media posts because they're court evidence. Everyone knows she lost her baby over a dead boyfriend's name.